Hello and welcome to Wendbooks Solutions. Today we're going to talk about receive payments and allocate funds. To access receive payments, first go to Customers, then Customer Center, and here it is, Receiving Payments. Click on the icon, select the client by either typing the name or scrolling until you find it, or simply click the search box here. The associated account, receivable account, comes up automatically. Then you need to choose the deposit to account. If the money goes to the bank directly, then you may need to choose the bank, or if you prefer to use the undeposited funds, so you deposit the funds later on, then you choose undeposited funds or the name of the account that holds your cash in hand. The payment amount, for example, I want to receive 1,000 euros. You notice that the system will automatically choose to allocate the funds for you, selecting from the oldest, okay? But you may ignore this and choose your own. Now, if I select this one, it's 1,000 euros. That means it's fully allocated, so I cannot choose another one unless I edit this amount. And I choose another one. Of course, if you double click, you open the journal entry or the related transaction there. Let's keep it the default one. Now, other debit account, in case you want to give some discount at the time you receive the payment, you can choose, for example, the other debit account. At this example, that could be the trade discount account, which is actually an income. Type the amount, and you notice that the total amount applied to those two will be 1,025 euros and 56 cents. That will be the 1,000 euros for your payment plus the 85.56 for the discount given. Choose the date, payment method, payment number. You may want to give your customer a message. Type a memo if you want. Click Save. And then you can print or email the receipt to your client. Of course, you can mark this transaction as to be printed or to be emailed, so you can batch print or batch email the transaction later on from the financial. Batch print, batch email. Here is the journal number of the transaction, and if you click the journal, you get the records behind the transaction, what is being debited and what is being credited. Note the slide bar at the right side, similar to any other transaction like invoice, bills. You get all the information related to this transaction, plus your client profile with open transactions and recent ones, transaction notes, and transaction documents. Now, once the transaction is being saved, then you may want to deposit these transactions. So you just go to Financial and then move to Bank Deposits. First thing, you have to choose the deposit to account. You may want to type the number of the deposit, choose the date, type the memo, and then you have to choose the payments to be deposited to. So go to Payments, choose the account that is holding your payments, undeposited funds, and then select the payments to deposit. You may want to select to deposit all checks together and keep the cash separately. So if you want to filter, just filter for checks, that one, and that one. Click OK, and here is the deposit. You may also want to use this cashback information at the bottom to return some money back to your petty cash. Of course, it works only if the deposit is for cash. I assume in this example that this is for cash payments, so let me give you a quick example. That could go back to another bank, the amount of 100 euros as a cash return to petty cash. So totally will be 4,000 euros minus 100, and this will be your deposit total. Click Save. And if you want to see the journal behind, the undeposited fund will be credited for all the payments selected. The deposit to bank account will be debited, plus your petty cash or any other bank, because we've used this cashback option. Now, if I go to bank deposit again and choose payments, choose the undeposited funds account, the previous payments are not listed because have been deposited already. I'm just cancelling, going back. Now let's talk about the allocate funds, and let me show you how that works. I've got one client here as a sample. I quickly create an invoice, or let's make it a bit complicated. I received a down payment for this client with no invoice. €1,000. You see that this is a down payment. I didn't issue an invoice yet. Click Save. So refresh. This is minus €1,000. I quickly create an invoice. For €2,000 plus VAT, so it's 2,380 totally. Now, of course, the client balance has been reduced. It's 1,000. It was 2,380 minus 1,000 euro deposit, so it's 1,380. But if I just go to invoice and click history, there is no payment link, payment allocation with this invoice. So this is where the allocate funds comes up. Let me make it a bit complicated. In addition to the down payment and the invoice, I create a credit note for 500 euros for this client, saving it, and I also make a journal entry, a trade discount, another 200 euros for this client. And save it. Now going back to the customer center, this is the total balance left. But if I go to receive payments, I still see the invoice and the original amount is the same. And if I open the invoice, no history, no allocation is yet applied. Now, let's use the allocate funds to solve this problem. Choose the client. You see the invoice and you see all the payments that have not been applied yet to an invoice. So I'm going to use the credit note and the applied amount of 595 to be applied on this invoice. I can also change the amount, let's say 500. I can also take 1,000 from the received payment, and I can also allocate the 200 for this one. Totally 1,700 euros will be applied on this invoice. Now, the credit note, I've got 95 euros left because I only applied 500 before, so I will apply the rest 95. No unapplied amount left. 595. If I go to the invoice now, go to history and see what has been applied to this invoice so far. And you can click to go to receive payment, or if you made a mistake, you can click unlink to unlink the received payment with the invoice. I simply go to receive payments again. $585 is the final amount. Save. Open the invoice. See the history. Click refresh, balance is 0. If you go to transactions, invoices, show all open invoices, then the invoice is not listed because it has been fully allocated. That's all. Thank you for watching. Bye.